What are you doing here, Grandma? When I got to my son's house, I was shocked by what I saw. In the dim light, my grandchild was sitting outside the door without shoes. Aren't you cold? Yeah. Without thinking, I hugged my grandchild. I remembered the weather report saying it might snow tonight. How could my son and his wife leave such a young child outside? I started to get angry. Why are you sitting out here then? My grandchild, trying not to cry, said, I'm not allowed in. Why not? It's my brother's birthday, and only real family is allowed. What? I raised my voice under the cold sky. What do they mean by real family? My grandchild, overwhelmed with emotion, began to cry loudly, his face a mess with tears and a runny nose. Let's go somewhere warm, okay? It's cold here. You must be hungry too, right? We'll get there soon. Near my son's house, there was a pub run by an old friend. I couldn't be picky about the place. Thinking they would welcome us, I opened the door. Oh, you're back again. Got a bit of a situation. My grandchild peeked out from behind me. Is that your grandchild? Yes, that's right. I immediately contacted someone. What my son and his wife were doing was unacceptable. Leaving my precious grandchild like this. They're going to face the consequences. As a mother and mother-in-law, I was ready to act. By calling the real family, my son and his wife were about to face their reckoning. My name is Veronica, and I just turned 60 this year. My husband, whom I had been with for many years, passed away from an illness about 2 years ago. I live alone in the house he left me. Maybe it's time to live together, my son had suggested when he returned home after a long time. I'm fine on my own. I can manage, I told him. But it must be boring alone, right? Indeed, I'm alone, but somehow I don't feel lonely in this house. That's a shame. Sally, my son's wife, who came with him, seemed a bit relieved. My reluctance to live together was largely due to her presence. She was my son's second wife. Sally, you must feel more comfortable without me around, right? What? No, it's not like that. At the time, I was a bit standoffish. I wasn't particularly close or distant with Sally, but we never quite clicked. My son and his wife have 2 children, but their daughter Natalia is my son's stepdaughter. I've heard he took her in somewhat reluctantly. Their younger son, John, was born shortly after they remarried. By the way, where is Natalia? Oh, Natalia is at a friend's house. I see. Now that I think about it, they rarely brought Natalia when they visited my house. And even when they did, I sensed a distance in their interactions with her. It wasn't like this with his first wife. What changed? I believe my son's first marriage ended due to his wife's infidelity. Although I had exchanged contact information with his ex-wife, we never stayed in touch. It was about 4 years ago when my son appeared with Sally, his new wife. What surprised me even more was that she was already pregnant. Nice to meet you, Veronica. Nice to meet you too. At that time, I felt it wasn't my place to interfere if my son had chosen her. But as issues involving me began to arise, so did my questions. Sally's true nature started to emerge, perhaps because she found my presence bothersome. The recent incident with Natalia was a clear example. Is Natalia really at a friend's? I inquired. I already told you that, she replied, clearly annoyed. But little did I know, this was just the beginning. What's with the raised voice, Sally? My son entered, sensing tension. It's nothing. Sally brushed it off, shooting me a glare before turning to John. I suspected they were hiding something about Natalia from me, judging by Sally's defensive reaction. But at that moment, I had no way to confirm it. Well, we should head back now. Okay, bring Natalia next time. My son's expression darkened at my request. It seemed both he and Sally were aware of the situation regarding Natalia. We'll bring her next time. Good, please do. They exchanged whispers, but I couldn't make out what they were saying. After that, they stopped visiting altogether. Perhaps they sensed my suspicions. Nevertheless, I couldn't stop worrying about Natalia, so I came up with a plan. Hello, I have a suggestion. What is it? About living together. Are you considering moving in with us? I've thought it over, and having you here might be nice. That's great. I'll start getting ready then. The sooner, the better, right? Really? You're sure? Yes, I don't want to be a burden on you. That would be a big help. And so it was decided that I would move in with my son's family. It wasn't because I disliked living alone. My main reason was to reconnect with Natalia, whom I hadn't seen in a long time, and make sure she was okay. I had considered visiting, but the distance made frequent trips impractical, as it was nearly 2 hours by train. I hoped this move would resolve things, but there was a lingering unease. Still, I couldn't just sit back and do nothing. I immediately began preparing to move to my son's house, packing up my belongings and arranging for movers. 2 weeks later, I settled into living with them. Let's get along well from now on. From today, think of this place as your own home and relax. Thank you, I appreciate it. After the greetings, I went to see Natalia. I was speechless when I saw her. She should be 9 years old now, but she looked so thin. Natalia, do you remember me? Grandma? Yes, that's right. Grandma will live here with you from today. Really? Yay! Her smile, though fragile, was filled with effort. Alongside relief, I felt a deep sadness at how much she had deteriorated. It was clear that Natalia held the lowest position in the house, but I couldn't afford to make a scene that might worsen her situation. So I took her out under the guise of helping me. I'm going to do some shopping, okay? Oh, are you taking Natalia too? Yes, she's going to help me out a bit. All right, Sally appeared displeased, likely wanting to keep Natalia away from me. Whenever we went out, I made sure to treat Natalia to her favorite foods and take her to different places. Thanks to that, she seemed to regain some color and energy compared to when we first started living together. Natalia, what do you usually do at home? Well, I read books in my room or draw. Don't you play with your mom and dad? It was difficult to ask, but I was driven by a desire to help her. Dad and Mom always play with John. When I want to join, they tell me to go to my room. That's sad. From now on, Grandma will play with you a lot, okay? Yeah, it seemed more like neglect or even abuse rather than just poor parenting. Natalia had gained some weight since I arrived, but it was clear she hadn't been properly cared for before. I was determined to protect her no matter what. Then one day, after being out all morning due to a commitment with a friend, I returned home in the evening. What's happening? As I entered the house, I heard Sally's angry voice. What are you doing? Do it like I told you earlier. I'm sorry. It appeared Sally was scolding Natalia, and the situation seemed tense. Sally, what's going on? She's frightened. Natalia was crouched down, holding her head. This kind of incident must have happened many times when I wasn't around, or else Natalia wouldn't react like this. I positioned myself between Sally and Natalia. Don't interfere. This is part of teaching her. What happened just now? She didn't follow my instructions. Sally seemed upset. When I calmed her down and listened, it turned out she had asked Natalia to do the laundry, but Natalia accidentally used fabric softener instead of detergent. Everyone makes mistakes, right? Especially since Natalia is only 8. That's not an excuse, Sally snapped. Calm down, I insisted, but Sally snapped at me. If you're going to complain, then do it yourself. What? You're the one who started complaining. She left Natalia and me there and walked away. The atmosphere in the house was becoming unbearable. Grandma, it's okay. Don't worry, let's do it together. With a mix of anger and determination, I knew I couldn't let this continue. Later, I brought up the incident with my son. Don't you think this is too much? Well, Natalia is already 8 years old, so we thought it's time she learns to do various things, my son said, seeming uneasy. It's good to teach her, but what happened last time was excessive. That's too much, even for teaching. Well, you know, it's your child. Aren't you supposed to take proper care of her? My son, perhaps injured by my words, responded with something shocking. I didn't even want to take her in the first place. What? Then why did you? I thought maybe she'd be useful, but she's turning out just like her mother. He continued to criticize his ex-wife, sounding more like he was trying to justify himself rather than expressing genuine anger. I was stunned by his words. Anyway, please pay more attention to Natalia. She's lonely too. I know, he said, but despite his words, my son and his wife continued to make Natalia do chores like cleaning, laundry, and even going shopping alone. Meanwhile, I quietly supported her without their knowledge. Despite being treated unfairly, Natalia never complained and worked diligently. I couldn't help but admire her determination. Curious about her motivation, I asked her why she was putting in so much effort. Why do you try so hard, Natalia? Because John's birthday is coming soon, she answered joyfully, but I could only watch. Why does such a good child have to suffer like this? You're a great big sister, Natalia. Yeah, I'm John's big sister. I refrained from reprimanding my son and Sally, hoping Natalia's positive spirit would endure. Gradually, their behavior seemed to soften, and a period of calm settled in. I need a little help with something. What do you need help with? Yeah, I could use an extra hand. Sure, okay. Thank you. Can you help right now? Now, I suppose I have to. Let me get ready and head out. One of my friends had opened a pub about 6 months ago. Today, their usual part-time worker was unavailable, so they asked for my assistance. Fortunately, the pub wasn't too far from my son's house. I'll be out for a while. Okay. By the way, we're celebrating John's birthday today. What? But his birthday is the day after tomorrow. We changed our minds. They had decided this while I was away, probably hoping to exclude me. I thought things had improved between us recently, but I was mistaken. Are you leaving now? Yes, I am. Don't worry, we'll enjoy the birthday together as a family. I left the house, but Sally's displeased expression lingered in my mind. At the friend's pub, I helped with various tasks. Before I knew it, it was already past 9 p.m. Is it this late already? Thank you so much. Your help was really appreciated. It's fine. Working like this once in a while is good. We're always waiting for you. See you later. With those words echoing in my mind, I walked down the dark street, dreading the birthday celebration at home. As I finally reached the house, I was shocked by what I saw. Confusion set in, but I quickly focused on Natalia. Why are you here? Did they say something? I'm not allowed in. Only the real family can celebrate John's birthday, so I can't. Natalia's words echoed under the cold sky, loud enough for the neighbors to hear. What do they mean by real family? Overwhelmed with emotion, Natalia began crying loudly, tears streaming down her face. I knew we couldn't stay there any longer. Yes, my young daughter was left outside by my son despite looking forward to it so much. We need to leave. I decided, feeling we had no choice but to move. Let's go somewhere warm, okay? It's cold here. And you must be hungry too, right? We'll get there soon. I retraced our steps and headed towards the pub run by my friend. I couldn't be choosy about the place. I knew my friend would welcome us. As I opened the door, "Oh, you're back again. There's a situation." Natalia peeked out from behind me. "I understand. Let's sit down and talk. But first, let me make a quick phone call." I took out my smartphone and immediately dialed someone. I wouldn't let my son and his wife get away with leaving my precious granddaughter out in the cold. "What happened?" my friend asked, concerned. "It's about Natalia's parents." I began, explaining today's events and the ongoing situation with gestures and expressions. "What? Your son did this? Why didn't you do something?" My friend was incredulous. "They wouldn't listen to anything I said," I replied, feeling frustrated. "That's unbelievable. Could it be that Sally doesn't like Natalia because she's your son's child from his previous marriage? But Sally knew about Natalia before they remarried. Could she have married just to mistreat her? I hope not." My friend's suggestion was deeply troubling. If true, it meant my son might also be involved. Regardless of the reason, they needed to be held accountable. Just then, Natalia's stomach growled loudly. "Right, you must be hungry. Can you prepare something for her to eat? How about an omelette?" Natalia's face lit up like a blooming flower. "I'll go make it. Wait here," I said. Natalia nodded eagerly, and I gently stroked her head. The omelette was ready in about 5 minutes, and Natalia ate heartily. About 30 minutes later, the door opened, revealing a familiar face. "It's been a while, Olivia. Long time no see." The person I had called was Olivia, my son's ex-wife. "Natalia, do you remember me? You're my mom, right?" "Yes, that's right, sweetie." Natalia immediately hugged her. Seeing them together brought tears to my eyes, but I held them back. "What's going on?" Olivia asked. "Sorry for the sudden call. There's a serious situation." "What happened?" I explained Natalia's situation to Olivia. If only I had been more responsible, this wouldn't have happened. "Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault." Olivia reassured me. "I have something to say too." Olivia began to explain how her divorce unfolded and why Natalia ended up with my son. As she spoke, it was difficult to comprehend the events that had transpired. "Is that true?" "It may be hard to believe, but it's all true." Unbelievable. The truth emerged that Olivia had been wrongly accused by my son and Sally. Despite hearing about Olivia's alleged infidelity leading to the divorce, it was actually my son who had been unfaithful with Sally. Olivia's account seemed genuine. Natalia's reaction upon seeing her real mother further affirmed it. Moreover, the lawyer my ex-husband hired was in on it. No matter what I said, they wouldn't believe me. I never forgot about Natalia, not even once. I placed my hand on Olivia's shoulder. "Don't worry, I'm on your side, no matter what." "Thank you, but what do we do now?" We pondered how to resolve the current situation. At that moment, several customers were present at my friend's pub. A man stood up and approached us. "Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear. Maybe you can help." "And you are?" He handed me his business card, which read attorney. I glanced between the card and the man. "Are you sure?" "Yes, if that lawyer is genuine, I can forgive them." We unexpectedly found a strong ally in attorney Daniel, who offered to represent us pro bono. Deciding to return home for the night to avoid suspicion, I spoke to Olivia. "Please take care of Natalia, and I'm sorry for everything." "Don't apologize. I actually thought you might hate me." "Not at all. I should have reached out to you sooner." We were united in defending Natalia. Over the next 2 months, we maintained our routine, ensuring Natalia's safety. Thankfully, my son and Sally were preoccupied with John, leaving Natalia unharmed. Then Olivia called. "Everything's ready. I'll be there soon." "Sure, let's show those two what they deserve." 3 days later, Olivia and attorney Daniel arrived at my son's house. The couple was taken aback by the unexpected visit. "What are you doing here? What does this old flame want?" my son exclaimed. Olivia remained composed. "We're here to file a lawsuit against both of you." "What? Are you out of your mind?" Attorney Daniel then handed over a document. This document states that Natalia should live with Olivia. "You expect us to accept this just because you say so. Shall I explain? First, the lawyer you hired doesn't exist, does he?" The couple looked visibly shaken, sweat forming on their brows. "My investigation revealed there's no such person registered with the Bar Association, and he had a criminal record for fraud. You knew this, right? He was your friend." I confronted my son, who remained silent, staring at the floor. Sally, however, was defiant. "Don't be ridiculous. You're making baseless accusations." I couldn't hold back any longer. "Enough. Weren't you involved with Olivia even before your divorce?" "That's not true. But the timing of your child's birth suggests you were still married." Sally was left speechless. "Just admit it. You took Natalia just to spite Olivia, didn't you?" "That's not true. It was his idea." She pointed accusingly at my son. "What? Why me? You said it was better to take her since she's the daughter of that woman." "We recorded everything." I revealed that I had been recording all our conversations with my smartphone. "I'm ashamed to call such a man my son." "Wait, Mom. I don't want to hear Mom from you. Both of you will face consequences, possibly even jail time." "But what about John?" "You're right. Don't worry. If necessary, I'll take good care of him." With that, they fell silent. Olivia and I left them in their despair and walked out of the house. A week later, we were settled in my old home. We couldn't leave Natalia with them, but they continued their resistance until the end. It seems they intend to sue us, but even if they do, you're right, we have all the evidence and Daniel's support. They're just tightening the noose around their own necks. It turned out they had indeed hired a real lawyer, but it proved futile. The trial ended decisively in our favor. They lost and were saddled with hefty alimony payments and other charges. A week after the trial, my son reached out to me. "I'm sorry for everything. Please help me." "You're mistaken if you think you should apologize to me. You're the only one I can turn to, Mom." His voice sounded weak. "Unfortunately, I no longer have a son. Don't contact me again." With that, I hung up. Following the incident, my son and Sally's relationship deteriorated, leading to their divorce. They both had to work tirelessly to pay off their debts, and John went to live with Sally's parents. All that remained for them was financial struggle. "We'll visit soon, okay? Come with Mom. We'll be waiting." Since then, I've returned to my home, living as I please. My happiness now comes from visits with Natalia